Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I was joined by Kyle Dovigi. Kyle's been on my show a few times, and we've talked about real estate and investing in Calgary. This one's a brief one because we're just talking about a couple developments that hit his desk that I think are worth sharing and providing some information on because it's really interesting, especially for those of us that are living either Vancouver or Toronto, major metropolitan area. We're used in our head to hearing numbers and thinking certain sizes, right? You hear 500,000. What do you think? One bedroom condo, especially if you're in Toronto. So it's interesting to kind of hear what you can get based on these purchase prices and what these developers are offering. So anyway, we jump into a couple things here. Let me know what you guys think on this. If you enjoy the format, probably do it again a few times because I'm also licensed in Alberta, and I think it's a great place to not only invest but live. I love it. I love it out west. For you guys that live out there, I envy you. But anyone that's interested, I hope you enjoy this. I'm not even going to call it a podcast. It's just we sat down, we talked a little bit. So hope you enjoy it. Because since we're talking about Calgary, I figured let's get this on the record. Because yeah, I mean, Calgary's one of those markets where I've definitely been kind of keeping my pulse on it. And yeah, it's good to have you back, Kyle. We're not really doing a podcast. We're just doing a market update on what the
Yeah,
heck's going on in Calgary. And I know you sent me an email yesterday, and there was a release of a project that came out, and I was pretty excited about it. I saw it, and then I was like, well, what the heck? Why don't we just like do something and get it out there and share it with some people on what's going on in Calgary? And it's interesting because before we jump into the developments here, full disclosure, I'm also an investor. Kyle's convinced me, and it didn't take a lot of convincing that Calgary is a good place to invest. So I do have an investment property there. I'm also licensed in Alberta to do mortgages. I can find you the money there. But yeah, I've been keeping an eye on Calgary. And the interesting thing is, so lumber, wheat, oil, all of them have gone down. So those commodities are starting to drop, which could be a signal that inflation might be correcting itself. I know in the US, we had the inflationary numbers come out. It dropped from 9.1 to 8.5. Tuesday, we're going to find out where inflation's at. But I would suspect, regardless, Calgary has been pretty hot. I know that condos have been seeing, some strong sales on it too. And who better to talk about it than Kyle Dovigi, the Condo Millionaire and the Calgary pro or guru. So Kyle, I want you to walk us through this, man. What's going on in Calgary that you want to share? And maybe you can share the screen too on if you've got any information that we can take a look at.
yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much, Dan, for having me back and letting me talk to everyone about Calgary because it is still an incredibly exciting opportunity. You're seeing real estate prices actually go down in a lot of areas across Canada,
Mhm.
GTA, Vancouver. A lot of small cities, especially in Ontario, they're down significantly from the peaks and where they were. Whereas
Yeah.
Calgary is actually still going up. It's bucking the trend overall. And there's a couple of factors. Oil is still incredibly high compared to where it was a few years ago, which is a huge boom to the economy there. And the
Right.
technology sector there continues to grow. More and more companies continuing to move there, setting up and expanding operations. So
That's what
good things
really
are coming.
excites yeah, that's what really excites me is the technology front in Calgary, because that was something that really with the ebb and flows of oil, that was it, right? That was the main driving economic indicator there. But now we've got technology coming into play, and that changes the game, I think, pretty dramatically. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff, Kyle. Thanks for sharing. So what did you get your hands on? What are we talking about right now, and what area of Calgary is it in?
Yeah, and this was a project that just came up about 36 hours ago. Again, from
Whoa.
Truman, they're one of the biggest developer in Calgary by far. And this project is freehold townhomes, which is kind of the
Okay.
holy grail. Most of the
Yeah.
towns being built in Calgary are condo towns, so they have a fee associated with them every month that does go towards landscaping, yard maintenance, exterior sometimes, and insurance of the common amenities. But
Right.
this is standalone. You're never going to have a condo fee, anything like that. And, this is pretty rare. I've only seen about 2 other projects like this in about 2 years. So
Mm,
that piqued my interest when I saw it. The next
right.
part was, started to dig into it a little bit. Pricing is 490,000 for a middle unit, 510,000 for an end unit.
So
That
what are we getting
pricing,
for 490 or 510, like square footage wise?
yeah, that's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhome, about 1,500 square feet on the main level and the top level, and an unfinished basement that's not included in that square footage. It also
Wow.
comes with a backyard and detached garage that fits 2 cars. So this is, your proper home,
Yeah.
even though it's a townhome. A lot of the townhomes in Calgary, you drive straight into them, and your front yard, you don't have one. So literally it's just the structure itself, whereas these are self-contained yards with detached garages, quite a rare commodity overall. Normally you have to go into the semis or the detached in order to get that sort of product.
Right, right. Yeah,
So
I'm just looking at some of the renderings here, and maybe I'll put it up on the screen too of the design. I mean, design wise, it looks like something that you would find in Toronto. It's gorgeous, and the fact that you've got a 2-car garage on this. The number one thing when I put my mortgage financing hat on and I look at it and I see freehold, that excites me, because if we don't have any maintenance fees that we have to incorporate in your debt service ratios, guess what? You're able to afford a little bit more. So having freehold in there is fantastic. And then I see something about a rental
yeah,
assurance.
exactly. And this is just a little bonus for you. And how the assurance program works is essentially it's the minimum that you'll get for the unit if it's been rented out. So
Mm,
the assurance on the middle units is 1950, on the end units is 2050 a month.
wow.
If it rents for less than that, say 1900, you'll get a check from the developer for the difference. For a middle unit, you'd be topped up
Okay.
$50. However, if the unit is empty, you don't get anything, unfortunately, but you are
Right.
getting $4,000 cash back to account for some of those vacancies, to spend however you see fit. So it blunts that hit a little bit if the unit is vacant.
No kidding. And I think this speaks volumes when a developer is putting their money where their mouth is and saying, hey, look, we're quite confident in this development to the fact that we're going to put our checkbook up, and if you can't rent it out, or if it's renting below what we think it's going to rent by the time it's done, yeah, you get some money, so you're not out of pocket. So that, to me, that's great too, because that assurance, that's sort of your ceiling, right? So it's or sorry,
That's
not
the
ceiling, that's your
floor.
floor, that's your
If it
floor. Yeah,
rents
that's
for
not your
more than that, then yeah, you get to keep all of that. So it's a little bit different from the guarantee programs that we've seen for some of the other
yeah,
condos and other projects.
right.
So what really excited me though is starting to look at the comparables in the area.
All
So
right.
this development is located in Southeast Calgary, the very bottom Southeast. Calgary's sprawling, it's pushing out from the outside core. So
Yeah.
if you go down into Rangeview, which is just kind of southeast of Seaton, which is already a developed community, you can check out what some of these units are actually listed for and renting for today. So Dan, can you
Huh.
see my screen okay?
I definitely can. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
see a
checking
townhouse
out.
there, 2350.
Yeah, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, but it's about 300 square feet smaller. It does not have a
Wow.
detached garage, and it doesn't have a backyard, and it doesn't have a basement. So the 1950 that
And
you're going to get from the developer, that's below market today.
they're being really conservative on that. Yeah. And,
Incredibly
it's no
conservative.
surprise. Yeah. That the rental market right now has been pretty hot. And it's sustained itself. So, yeah, I mean, these numbers don't lie. This is exactly what's going on right now in today's market. And I mean, the comparables aren't really comparable because, like you said, you're not getting the same product. You're getting a much superior product, in this development. So what are we looking at
Absolutely.
here?
Yeah, here's just another similar one, listed for 2250. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, again, much smaller, no yard, no basement.
Right.
These are the rates that they're going for, kind of between 2250 and 2350, but for
Wow.
product that's not as good. So I would put the Rangeview rentals about 2,500 today, but they're closing in 2024. So you've seen
Right.
Calgary rental appreciation, it's up over 20% since the beginning of the year. And with the demand in the city, demand in rentals, you're seeing in Calgary, but also in Toronto, rents are going through the roof because people there aren't as many buying anymore. So they're piling into the rental market. So
Right.
2,500 today, I expect that to be even higher at closing in 2024 for these units.
Wow. Wow. And that again, I mean, the nice thing is if someone's buying this either to live in, but I'm thinking from like an investor standpoint, if you're looking at it as an investment, those numbers are pretty concrete as far as what we can use to debt service it, right? So we know no maintenance fees on it. We know what the purchase price is going to be. We know there's cash back on closing. We also know that there's a rental assurance. So we can use that as the floor in figuring out what we can utilize to help carry that debt or debt service it. So this is a pretty exciting product. And you mentioned a little bit about Truman being the largest developer in Calgary. They've been around for a while. I guess I don't know too much about Truman, but
Yeah, about 35 years. They're really the king of Calgary, so to
oh,
speak.
okay, cool.
Definitely developing the most projects. They have the largest land portfolio, but they're a top developer. They have high-end finishings. How they
Mhm.
finish their product is superior to a lot of the other builders out there. There's quite a few budget builders in Calgary. Their product comes out of the box at a much higher rate. So really, you don't need to be upgrading a lot of things. The purchase price is really your all-in price. There aren't even that many upgrades that they can even choose from.
Right.
Very reputable company though. In Calgary, they're a household name, but they've also won customer satisfaction awards multiple times as well. So great to be dealing with from an investor perspective, and they're very friendly, very happy to have investors working with them. They're one of the few developers that allow holding companies to be the only ones appearing on title. Normally that doesn't happen. Normally you have to have a personal name on title in addition
Yeah.
to a holding company as
Right.
well. So it goes to show you the extra lengths that they're willing to go for their investors and their buyers.
Wow, fantastic. It's nice to hear too that they have, they do stand behind their product and the customer satisfaction is there because that's like the number one thing, right? Everyone goes to, well, it used to be Yelp back in the day, but Google reviews and you check and you say, is this place reputable? What are people thinking about it? So it's good to hear that people are pleased with how Truman's developing these properties. So how do we, if someone's interested in this, what do they need to do, Kyle? They just reach out to you. Obviously, I'm going to leave your contact information below. If someone needs to reach out, they can reach out to you. And if they want to do a pre-approval on it and figure out if they can afford it, I'm your guy. I'll help you out with that. But if they want to secure something, what's the next steps?
Yeah, and absolutely, Dan. Always want to get a pre-approval. Make sure that you're not going to have any mortgage issues. For these, it's not required, but always recommend it for anyone
Right.
that's
Yeah,
investing, just so that you avoid any issues at the end of closing. So
you got it.
definitely worth doing. And Dan is your man to get that done. To move forward with the unit, though, it's incredibly straightforward. Just need basic information like front and back of your driver's license, your phone number, email, occupation, employer.
Got
That's
it.
the information that the developer requires to prepare the purchase agreement and essentially know your client legislation. They need to get certain basic information about you for identification purposes. That's it.
Okay. Awesome. That's pretty straightforward. And I noticed here when you sent this email out yesterday, you said there were 14 lots, and how many are sold already?
9 are sold.
Oh, okay. So
But
I'm
more are coming. This is the
right.
first phase of the development. So
Yeah,
very small release. There will be some more coming. The only thing that I can't guarantee is that the pricing is going to stay the same.
right, right. So can't guarantee the pricing. It's really as supplies come on the market, you pretty much get first crack at it. So if anyone's looking to get into Calgary and you're looking to work with one of the top developers, if not the top developer there, Kyle's your guy. So you did mention too in that email, Kyle, that there was something else coming up on the horizon in downtown Calgary. Can you speak on that yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's really exciting too. Completely different from the Rangeview townhomes. This is right downtown at 1st and 10th. You can pretty much see the Calgary Tower from the
No.
development. It's just a
Wow.
block over. So prime AAA location. The building, I've seen the renderings, the brochure, it's about to launch. It's nice. It's giving me
Yeah.
Nobu vibes from Toronto. That
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
of finishing, attention to detail design. Really nice project. But the best part is, how am I going to make money? These things are cash flowing, even at 4% interest. Every unit is going to be at least $200 a month cash flowing, and it's
Wow.
completed in 2027. comes with a 2-year rental guarantee with that guarantee cash flow. So 2029 turnkey product, unreal. And pricing is competitive to what other projects that we've seen launching downtown. Like First and Park was really popular in Eau Claire. That one sold out in like a week and a half. This one is even closer to downtown. Airbnb is absolutely an option as well. And I'm working with turnkey operators there too. If you did want to Airbnb the unit, perfect location for that. So
Wow.
really, really exciting project.
So safe to say this probably won't last too long. And if people are considering investing, they need to reach out to you to get it. Is there a waiting list? Can you put them on or at least send them off on a
Absolutely.
blast? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, if
Great.
anyone's interested, reach out to me because as soon as it launches, that's when units are going to start to sell. So want to
Great.
get you prepared and ready so that it's not, am I investing in this development? It's which unit am I investing in? And we
Right.
can quickly go
Yeah.
through that. There's already floor plans available, general pricing. So can do all of your due diligence now before units officially go on sale.
Fantastic. This is amazing. Thanks, Kyle, for sharing these two. And I think as they sort of come on board too, we'll start doing this so we can kind of keep you guys in the know and get you up to date on what's going on there. Because look, Calgary has been and continues to be an area to invest in. It's fairly safe. I love it. I go there. We're heading there in about a month's time again. So I try to make it there a few times a year. And it's a great place to put to park your money or to settle down, put some roots, and move your family. So Kyle, thank
It's
you
one of the
again for
few
joining
markets
us.
still appreciating in Canada.
This
So
is
keep
this
that
is
in
the
mind.
this is the crazy thing. Yeah, I mean Calgary. So I was just reading. I think it was maybe CBC. I'll try to find the article, but there was an article that came out basically stating that there are a few markets that are going to be hit fairly hard in a few areas, including New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Halifax is pretty heated, and I think there was a call for a correction of up to 25% by Desjardins and some economists. Now, 25% based off of the peak in February. However, it seems like Calgary is kind of like doing its own isolated thing where they're like the predictions there are a lot less dire and a lot more optimistic on what's going on there. So
Yeah, exactly. And townhomes and condos especially are expected now
mm,
to lead the appreciation for kind of the next 18 months because semis and detached have gone up so much. A
right.
gap opened up between the different product types. And whenever that happens, affordability is impacted and people get
Yeah.
pushed down into towns and condos. So expect those to outperform.
Good to know. Thank you again, Kyle. Appreciate it. And yeah, guys, I'll link below if you want to contact Kyle and get one of those units. You can do so. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ann.